and we will ask the judge to seize his assets.
To the Trump administration, culminating in January 6th, when he says bloodbath, he means it literally.
Not one single person has been charged with insurrection. Shame on you.
Y'all are so clouded by this blue glasses that you will tear someone completely down who you used to love just because he's on the opposite political side of you, and will undermine what you say you believe in, which is democracy, because you don't agree with what he said. I'm just a fluffing away. Just a fluffing away. Okay, Peace family. My name is Christina Victoria, and today I wanted to talk about Donald Trump and this $464 million that he owes to the state of New York based off of this judgment, as well as the Bloodbath comment, and just everything Donald Trump right now, and how I personally, as someone who has been a Democrat for a long time, thinks it is tremendously unfair and wrong how he's being treated right now. But before we get into this, as always, I love you guys. I do all of this with love and wishing you abundance, life, love, joy, peace, and prosperity, but not only to you and not only to your communities, but to your loved ones, and even to your enemies, and even to those of the other political parties.
You know, at the beginning of the show, I said you either love him or you hate him. Now, do you find that that's true, or does everybody love you, or does everybody hate you?
No, most people love me, and a few really have great distaste for me, Dave.
And why is it that those people, that few, would not care for you? Because you're so successful?
I can't imagine. No, I don't think so. It's just I sort of speak my mind a little bit like you in that respect.
Now, why do I say that at the beginning of every video? I say that for a reason. And it is specifically because I feel that this political landscape has been incredibly toxic, poisonous, vicious, evil, mean-spirited, you know, lack of decorum, lowbrow. I mean, like, all of the above. I'm trying to find the strongest words that I can while not using curse words, okay? And, you know, like I said, if you watch my previous videos, I used to be heavily involved in the Democratic Party. I spent my 20s doing activism and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I have been disturbed. Disturbed is really the word. Disturbed in my spirit, okay? In my spirit, by the way that Sir Donald Trump, Mr. Donald Trump, our former president, is being treated by not only the Democratic Party right now, but by the media, by a lot of these attorneys out here. Because here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. America is a democracy. The Democratic Party, I thought, stood for democracy, okay? What is democracy? What is a republic? I actually looked up these terms because I was like, maybe I'm misinterpreting what a democracy is, right? When I was in school, I'm a little bit older than I probably look like to you. When I was in school, we would actually stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, I know that nowadays most schools do not do that. And, you know, I'm not forcing anybody to do anything. Y'all have free will, just as I do, okay? But the Pledge of Allegiance says what it says, you know? And I feel that this kind of, you know, stopping saying the Pledge of Allegiance, I feel like is really telling, because these values of, you know, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. America does not stand for that anymore, period. Like, that's the best way I can say it. And as someone who has been a Democrat for a long time, has worked on campaigns, has worked for Democratic candidates only, I am absolutely disgusted by how the political climate is in this country right now. And I'm honestly disgusted by how Mr. Donald Trump is being treated right now.
But now, after seeing the chaos, corruption, incompetency, and hate-filled agenda that was 4 years of the Trump administration, culminating in January 6th, we know he means what he says. And it is imperative that we remind the American people, hammer it home over and over again, that when he says bloodbath, he means it literally. This guy is to be taken both seriously as well as literally.
You know, y'all want to get on Trump about this bloodbath comment, and it's like, you all are really making yourselves look like you don't comprehend things well. Like, I'm honestly trying to find the nicest possible way to say this, but it's like either you are demonstrating that you do not understand, or you're demonstrating that you are intentionally twisting things up to promote a narrative that is not true. And it's like, you know, either way, it doesn't make you all look good. Like truly, when Trump made the bloodbath comment, he was talking about economics. He was talking about negotiating with China.
To China. What? If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. No, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
And he said that if he doesn't become president, it's going to be a bloodbath, meaning, right, context matters. So, like, you know, if you went to school and graduated, you understand context clues, right? Context clues, people. Context clues.
That when he says bloodbath, he means it literally.
And you believe it?
Are they serious? They're trying to say he said it's going to be a bloodbath if he doesn't get elected. Like because they're trying to say, well, what happened the last time? He's going to do that. But he was really saying, like, America is going to be a bad place if I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, they're going to twist that up. You know, I saw the clips of them saying, they were like, he said if he doesn't get arrested or elected, it's going to be a bloodbath. Yeah, it was Nancy Pelosi.
Context clues, right? So, like, he didn't say it's going to be a bloodbath, like, no, he didn't say that. What he said was, financially, it will be a bloodbath, financially, by China on the United States if he's not president and can't negotiate these things that will benefit Americans. So if you go to the dictionary, okay? Like, I'm not in the professional media, okay? I sit here and I make my videos, I record my videos, I edit them myself, I do the research myself, okay? We're talking about these people are part of huge corporations with a whole team of people whose job is to research and make these videos, okay? I'm a one-woman show right now. I did a search and it says bloodbath. This is literally bloodbath definition. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this because you all truly when I say disgust me, and I say that with my chest, y'all disgust me because I am sitting here looking. It took a very simple search on the internet to see what does bloodbath mean? When he said that, what does he mean, right? Okay, I just do a search. It says bloodbath. 1, savage, indiscriminate killing, a massacre. 2, indiscriminate slaughter, the killing of multiple persons. 3, substantial losses by many people, as in a mass termination of employment or widespread financial loss, okay? So this is from American Heritage Dictionary. That's just on the page. And then I go, Merriam-Webster. What does bloodbath mean? 1, a great slaughter. 2, a noticeably fierce, violent, or destructive contest or struggle. 3, a major economic disaster. So it's like when y'all sit here and just, oh, haha, he said bloodbath. Oh my God, he said bloodbath. He's gonna do another insurrection. First of all, it makes you all look really, really, really not smart. And that is the nicest way that I can say that. The nicest way. At worst, it makes you look highly deceptive, because you know that most people, especially nowadays, we're in an economic, honestly, I think we're in an economic downturn right now. You know, inflation's going up hugely. Like I posted something in my video about independent voter compares Trump and Biden. And I said something to the effect about my car insurance going up. And then someone commented, yeah, my car insurance doubled last week and have no accidents and have been paying on time. So it's like, not only is food going up, but like insurance is going up. And it's like people are making the same amount of money and are struggling because the things that they used to pay for, people are living on budgets, man. Like, so if you have, you know, a certain amount of money and now everything, this is how much you make per month on salary, and then everything that you used to pay for was here, now it goes up, you're struggling to make ends meet. I mean, this is craziness, right? This is absolute craziness. Most people don't have the time to sit around and research these things. And so y'all know that. And y'all will just get together and say, oh, we're just going to harp on this bloodbath comment, knowing good and well that's not what he meant. That's not what he said in context. And it's misleading. And so it's like, you know, part of the reason I'm even making these videos is because of stuff like that, where I'm like, I started to just research for myself. I know they said that, but what did he actually say, right? And so a few of us out here are starting to wake up and look, what does the full speech say? Oh, what he said was, it's going to be an economic problem if he is not president. And y'all want to sit here and call insurrection? Like, you guys are truly, truly disgusting. Now, why am I saying this? And this is part of the reason why I started making these videos, and was like, I've been really disturbed by a lot of these things. And if you kind of, those of you who've been following my channel for a couple, you know, for the last few weeks, I just really had like 100 subscribers like a couple weeks ago. But those of you who've been following my videos know that I've been coming at this as an independent. I've been asking a lot of questions because I'm like, is this true what I'm perceiving, or am I tripping, right? That's really been my perspective and why I've been making the videos the way I have. I'm like, is what I'm perceiving true, or am I tripping, right? Which is why I've been making these asking questions. And I've had some amazing comments, amazing suggestions from you all, saying, you know, no, you are not making things up. Your eyes are being opened, right? Congratulations. You know, your eyes are being opened. And, you know, this is supposed to be a democracy. A democracy means that it is for the people, that the people get to vote on our representatives, that we each get one vote. We don't get to vote in multiple states. We don't get to send a vote in Georgia and do an absentee ballot in California. That's not what a democracy is. A democracy says that each person gets one vote. Each vote goes toward the representatives that you want and goes to the president that you want, okay? The only countries that do shenanigans, like, you know, well, we're not going to allow him to run because we don't like him, are communist countries and like dictatorships. Straight up. Like, the countries that we talk badly about are the countries that do things like that, that are like, okay, we don't want this person to run, so they'll just put a hit on him, and then all of a sudden people just pop up dead, and you're like, why is that happening? It's because, you know, these are countries, right, that we have tried to teach them democracy, fairness, you know, where it's like, no, you can't just prevent someone from running against you because you don't like him. You know, everyone deserves to vote for the person that they want. And, you know, sorry, my dog is underneath me. And so it's like, it is very disturbing, and it should be for everyone. It should be for every single person. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican, if you are Black or Asian or white or Latino or whatever. It should be disturbing to you that if you're running for an office and someone doesn't like you, that all they can do is just, okay, well, let's go to the courts and just try to bankrupt them so that they can't run against us. Like, are you kidding me? That is not democracy. That is literally not democracy. That is not democracy. So the Democratic Party, which I have loved and have been a part of for a long time, are not acting as Democrats right now. Y'all are acting as communists. And, you know, this is not okay. This is not okay. You know, I'm sitting here watching right now, people are talking about, oh, this $464 million judgment.
Former President Trump's lawyers said that Trump is unable to pay the $464 million bond in his New York civil fraud case. In his defense, how is a billionaire ever supposed to come up with $500 million? You know? Come on. Do the math.
When I have a video about this with Letitia James, who's the Attorney General of New York.
If he does not have funds to pay off the judgment, then we will seek, judgment enforcement mechanisms in court. And we will ask the judge to seize his assets.
And at the time, I was asking the question, I was like, is this a witch hunt? Like, why are they treating him like this? Why is the amount so astronomically high, right, that he's being fined with? And, I get that he is being, he was convicted of, they said that he was inflating the amount of his properties, right? But then when you look into it, it's like every single real estate person is saying that not only is that common practice, like that's what everyone does, they were saying that, the banks individually have assessors who will determine if that's actually accurate, what you have said, and that all the loans were repaid, that, the banks themselves were satisfied with the deal. And so it's like, and that this is going to hurt New York because now in the future, people who are real estate developers will be less likely to invest there because they can't do whatever it is that they do, right? We know that when people are, president and things like this, they do things that are a little bit like, and this is on both sides, right? A little bit like that way, right? we find papers over here and then we find papers over here, right? Everyone seems to be doing a lot of the similar corrupt type of things, right? So I am not on the side of like, let's just play like there's no corruption anywhere, because if you look on both sides, you're going to find corruption on some level. But what I am saying is this 91 charges, like, it really feels like a witch hunt against Donald Trump right now, and it really feels like an effort to bankrupt this man and to hurt him, and it feels malicious, it feels mean-spirited, and it feels like very communist and very non-democratic, and that, the Democratic side is seeing the writing on the wall, and rather than allowing the election to proceed as normal, it appears to me, and again, I'm someone who's been a Democrat, like that's why I'm really disturbed and I'm making these videos, is because, this really feels like when I used to listen to the Republicans and they talk about election interference and all of this, this really feels like that's what it is. It really does, from my perspective, because it's like they're doing enough to just paint the picture for people who are not really paying attention, because most people are not doing the research that I'm doing, right? Most people will just hear a headline, insurrection, 91 charges, right? And all they know is insurrection, 91 charges. And then when you look into it, right? Because most people are not looking into it. That's why I started researching for myself, because I was like, what is actually going on here? Is this media being truthful, or are they just blowing smoke up everyone's backside and like, making things appear to be a certain way? And then when I look into it, I just found the other day, my mom was actually playing this video, and it was the Republicans who were, they did a media, like a bunch of Republicans from Congress stood before the media on they did this on February 6th of this year. I just saw this video literally yesterday. And my mom and I were watching it and thought it was yesterday and realized, wow, this was over a month ago. And why is it that neither of us even heard about this, right? Neither of us even heard about this. And they're standing up here saying, look, there was not an insurrection. No one has been charged with insurrection. If this was an insurrection, then someone should have charged, of all the 91 charges that Trump has been charged with, he has not been charged with insurrection, okay?
Not one single person has been charged with insurrection. Not one single person has been convicted with insurrection. Not one. In every single court of our land, no one's been charged and convicted with insurrection, yet Democrats and dishonest people in the media every single day accuse President Trump of waging an insurrection and accuse many of us of waging an insurrection, and you're doing nothing but lying and selling the lies of the Democrats, all for campaigns and elections. Shame on every single person that has done that. Shame on you. You need to tell the truth. You have the freedom of press, one of the greatest rights in this entire world. And anyone that puts the word insurrectionist, calls President Trump an insurrectionist, and calls any of us an insurrectionist is a liar, and you do not deserve the power that you possess. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Of the 91 charges that Mr. Donald Trump was charged with, none of them were insurrection. And yet, in Colorado and all these different states, they literally took him off the ballot for insurrection. And it's like, that is not democracy. That is not democracy. That is literally not democracy. And then to go, you know, the everyone, it's like almost like this big joke, like this big bullying effort, right? So it's like the media is like, oh, haha, we're going to say insurrection. We're going to laugh and kiki and like giggle about the fact that he did an insurrection, even though we know it wasn't really, you know, but like we're just going to say that, and we're going to say it enough times that people start thinking that that's what it is, even though that's really not what happened. And it's like, you know, he literally was saying, you know, go peacefully, right? Americans have the right to protest. So it was a protest. People went to the Capitol and they protested. That's what it was. Okay. He said something and his people protested. That's fine. But I mean, people protest all the time. This is America. This is America. So like for the Democrats to say, you know, I have images of myself with BLM. Okay. So like, I am not saying that we shouldn't protest, that we shouldn't do things, right? But it's like, there is this total, absolute unfairness, like absolute blindness, where it's like, we're going to let BLM do whatever they want to do, right? Whatever they want to do. BLM's been out here rioting and like looting stores and doing literally all of the stuff under the sun. And everyone was just kind of like, well, they're pissed off. Let them do what they do, right? Let them do what they do. And then Trump's side is pissed off. And they go to the Capitol and it's like, insurrection, he put him in jail. And I'm like, do y'all not remember when like everyone used to love Donald Trump? Like y'all must have forgot that like literally up until the moment he decided to run as a Republican, everyone loved Donald Trump.
How much are you worth right now as you're sitting right here?
Zero idea, David. It depends on what's happening with the world and the market. But the $1 million for each person in the audience sounds like it could be an intriguing idea.
Yeah.
Him. Like rappers used to sing about him. I mean, some of them still do. They used to sing about this guy. Like we used to look up to him because he was a billionaire and because he would write books about the art of the deal, like how to make money, right? How to invest and things like that. And we were like, wow, thank you, Donald Trump, for teaching us these things.
Donald. Mr. Trump here wrote The Art of the Deal. Then he wrote a new bestseller, The Art of the Comeback. 2 books. Wow.
And we would watch him on TV. I have never voted for him. So I'm not saying that this as someone who's historically even been a fan of him politically. But it's like, y'all are so clouded by this blue glasses that you will tear someone completely down who you used to love just because he's on the opposite political side of you, and will undermine what you say you believe in, which is democracy, because you don't agree with what he says. If it's fair for BLM to riot, then it's fair for Trump's people to riot. If that's not an insurrection, then that's not an insurrection. But it's like, y'all really are tripping. And this is, at this point, this is vicious. This is mean-spirited. And to me, in my opinion, this is starting to look real evil, like real hateful and evil. And like, you know, when I say communist, I mean the idea that we're going to take from those at the top to give to those at the bottom. That is not democracy. If you are a communist, then say so, and then rebrand the Democratic Party as the Communist Party. If that's what y'all stand for, then you need to rebrand the Democratic Party as the Communist Party, because y'all are really not looking democratic right now, because that's what communism is. It's saying that, okay, we're just going to sue the crap out of him, put all these lawsuits so that, you know, like even this $355 million judgment, we literally see from the way they're talking, right? They didn't say the quiet part out loud until he couldn't pay it, right?
I'm rich. He says it all the time. Well, it turns out he's not. And it turns out the only reason he was able to amass this fortune is because it was built on a foundation of lies. That's what was exposed in this case.
Until he's going to all these banks, and they can't, you know, banks are not as liquid. It's like I don't know if people just don't know this, that like a lot of people can be a billionaire but not actually have like one, like y'all think that like Donald Trump, his bank account says like, you know, 1,000,000,000,000, and then all he has to do is just like, you know, go to the ATM machine and type in, how much do you want? And he'll be like 5,000,000,000,000. Yeah, and that is gonna, and then he'll just pull out $500 million in cash and then just hand it over. Like, I think some of y'all think that. That's not how a lot of this works, right? You can be valued at $1 billion and not have $1 billion in cash, right?
I see.
But no, I'm serious. I think that this.
I'm not going to get you off that subject.
No, this is. I think this is the kind of thing that people love to fantasize about, because you were unquestionably one of the most successful men in the country, if not the world, and also one of the wealthiest. So, give us a figure that we might ponder here.
You'll never get it out of me, David. You'll never get it out of me. You'll try, but you'll never get it. Let's get something like how we're going to become more successful. Let's talk about that.
I read something this afternoon that said in the bank right now you have $500 million in cash. In cash. Is that a fair?
Which paper did you read that in?
Well, I can't divulge those sources.
You have to give me the newspaper.
No, just tell me, is that not true, or is that close? Am I nuts here?
Well, I don't know. You have to tell me where you got that, David. This is a very unusual interview, folks.
You won't put a figure, just an imaginary figure?
Never would.
$1 billion. You're worth $1 billion?
Perhaps.
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 Perhaps. Are we the low side of perhaps or the high side?
So who knows how much money he has in cash, right? It could be 200 million in cash. But he's still valued. He could be valued at 5 million, 10 million because of all the properties and all the investments that he has, the stocks that he has, right? So it's funny because I'm like, are y'all really not understanding, or are you all being deceptive? It's one or the other. In either way, you don't look good. So either you're demonstrating that you don't really understand, or you're demonstrating that you understand and you are being intentionally deceptive about certain things to sway the election. Either one doesn't look good. And either one, when I say this looks like some communist stuff, that you guys we've turned America into like one of those countries that just offs the people that we don't like. And then, you know, the people that we do like, we're going to put up, and then people we don't like, he's just going to disappear. And all of a sudden, you know, you find him in a bathtub somewhere. Like, that is not how we do things. That is not how we should be doing things. If you believe in democracy, let the best candidate win. Let the best policies win. Let the American people decide for themselves, for ourselves, who we think is best. It's fine for you to not think that Trump is best. That's fine. That is so fine. If you were like, I don't like Trump, I don't like his policies, I don't want him to be president, that's fine. But to, you know, collude and have a bunch of people throw cases against him and say, okay, we're gonna line them up for the year before the election, so that now all these people out here who don't pay that much attention are just going to see, oh, there's 91 cases, 355 million, insurrection, right? But then someone like me, I sit here and I start looking into it, and I was like, this isn't quite what y'all are saying. And it makes the mainstream media look very deceptive. It makes a lot of y'all look very biased. It makes a lot of you all look, to be honest, like you are trying to bring in some type of communist regime that is taking from the rich and giving to the poor, like we're Robin Hood. And, you know, I know how some people might like that, might kiki and giggle and be like, oh, yay, you know, like, let's take all his money. Let's take his buildings. Like, that's evil. That's mean. That is mean-spirited, right? That is mean-spirited, because y'all don't remember how much people used to love him and how much he's actually done for this country and how many jobs he's created and how many people he's helped. And it's like the second he ran for president as a Republican, none of that mattered anymore. It's like now we put a target on his back and we just hate him, and y'all can't kill him physically. So you're gonna try to sabotage his name, sabotage his reputation, take his money. Like, these are not the values that we should be standing for as a country. Is like sabotaging your enemies. Like, again, this is literally why I say what I say at the beginning of every video, wishing not only positive things to you and to the people that I like, but especially to the opposite side, because it's like this landscape right now is so toxic. It is toxic and it's vicious and it's mean-spirited, and it has this kind of evil, like, you know, haha, we're gonna tear you down and then laugh about it. Like, that is not okay. That is not okay. And y'all wonder why. Y'all literally act confused, right? I'm watching the Young Turks, And the Young Turks are super liberal, right? And they're doing a series, not series, but they do a video on why are so many young black men becoming Trump supporters. And then Trump gets up here and he's like, yeah, I did my mugshot, and like, you know, a lot of black people want to support me now because they identify with being persecuted. And it's like, what you all don't understand, and this is what's so funny to me. I'm like, either y'all really don't get it or something, because what you all don't understand is black people, like I was literally talking to my friend early this morning, a good friend of mine, black man. And I, as a black woman, my father is a black man, my mother is a black woman, but I'm going to talk about black men right now, okay? Love everybody. But as a black woman, I have a tremendous amount of respect for black men. I think black men, you know, there's a soul, there's a spirit, there's an energy, there's a swag, right? And, you know, black men are highly intelligent. I'm not sure what's happened in this country socially that has kind of made our culture a certain way, but black men are highly intelligent and see through things in a certain way is the best way I can say it. They can see through things. They have a really interesting divine eyesight to see through things, right? And so, you know, when black men are starting to advocate for Donald Trump right now and defend him, I'm listening.
And you believe it?
Are they serious? Hey, what happened the last time?
As a black woman, when I see black men starting to defend Donald Trump and say that he's being unfairly treated, I'm listening as a black woman, because I have so much respect for black men. And for them to, for black men who have, I think, in my opinion, been themselves one of the most unfairly treated groups in America, to say this man is being treated unfairly, and, you know, to stand him up there and give him a mugshot when that wasn't required, you know, trying to embarrass him, trying to humiliate him, trying to bankrupt him, trying to throw all these cases against him, for black men to say this is wrong and we need to back up Donald Trump because this is a witch hunt against him, I'm listening. And a lot of us are listening because this is really starting to look bad on the Democratic Party. And it's really starting to look like a witch hunt. And it's really starting to look like y'all are just trying to bankrupt this man and make him look bad. And the question starts to become, right, for especially as a black woman, I can't, you know, I'm not trying to make this race based, but I can't help but be the identity that I am. When I see things like that happening, right, if it is a witch hunt, and if this is a group of people who have colluded to try to just tear him down, then my question is, why, right? Because you don't go after losers, right? You are not, like, when I think of, like, if you think of ballerinas and like different, like Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding kind of things, you don't try to sabotage someone who is doing badly, right? You don't try to sabotage someone who has no chance. Like, if you are number two, right? If you're number two and you have 10 people in your race, right? You have 10 people in your race and you are number two. Who are you going to go after? Are you going to go after number 10? No, you're not going to go after number 10. You're going to ignore number 10. Like, that number 10 doesn't even affect me. You're going to go after number 1. And this feels like a lot of people getting together to try to tear down number 1 so that number 2 can win. And that is not democracy. That is not what we stand for as American people. And as far as I'm concerned, the Democratic Party is not standing behind democratic values right now. I'm not saying that they have not in the past, and I'm not saying that they can't in the future. As of today is March 19th, 2024. As of today, the Democratic Party is looking very communist. And, you know, they're looking like they should really rebrand themselves as the Communist Party of America. And that the Republican Party is really starting to look like the Democratic Republican Party. Like, it's like a lot of Democrats who have been Democrats for a long time are literally moving over to the Republican Party because the Democrats have become so far left and so extreme in this kind of communist Marxist type of ideology that really feels indignant about the fact that we need to get rid of the billionaires, get rid of, you know, people like, and again, I've been a Democrat for this whole time, right? So, but people like, if we look at Jeff Bezos, right? Why does he have so much money? It's because he created something that people need and value. So like how often, when's the last time you went on Amazon and got something and was like, oh, I need this right now. I'm gonna go on there and have it delivered. And then you go outside in the morning and there it is, right? The reason why he has so much money is because that's what he did. So when we look at, it's like, same with Elon Musk, right? Why does he have so much money? It's not because he just was like, sat down and someone was just like, oh, here's some money. No, it's because he created things that are valuable and that help people's lives and benefit people, right? And so it's like there's this jealous type of energy, this jealous and hateful energy from people who feel like they've been wronged in some way, I guess. And so they take joy in tearing someone down who they think is above them or something. The only person who will tear you down is someone who's beneath you. Someone who's above you, like really think about this. If we're here, right, the only person who's going to tear you down is someone who's beneath you. Someone who's beneath you going to tear you down. Someone who's on top can't pull you down. They're going to pull you up, right? Someone like Donald Trump has tried to bring us up, right? He's like, let me teach you the ways I've done this, right? He's never been, like I found this beautiful video on Letterman from 1986 where Letterman was trying to figure out, you know, he's like, how much money do you have? You know, and Trump was like, I don't know. And he's like, well, we want to know, like, is it like, you know, if we looked in your bank account, is it like 500 million? Is it a billion? Like, is it what? And he's like, I don't know. Like, I don't even want to talk about that, right?
Do you make more money? You own casinos. How many casinos do you own?
We have 4 casinos.
4 casinos in Atlanta?
Paradise Island, Atlantic City, and it's really been very fabulous.
Now, do you make more money from the casinos or more money in real estate development?
Well, probably real estate in a sense, but real estate is an appreciation business, whereas the casinos are cash flow. And I don't know, I never really even think of it in those terms. I try doing a great job. I think we have the best hotel casinos in the world, and hopefully I have the best real estate in the world with Trump Tower and everything, and that's what I like.
All right, now let's get back to the assessment of your wealth for a second.
And Trump tries to change the subject. He tried to change the subject, and Letterman was pushing it. He's like, well, the people want to know how much it is, right? This curiosity about Trump is from the outside. Like, yeah, he'll say, like, I'm rich. I'm not trying to take money. Like he was saying when he first ran. Again, I didn't even vote for him then. He was saying, you know, I'm not trying to take money from, like, when he was saying, I'm rich, I'm not trying to take money. What he meant is, I'm not trying to be beholden to external forces, right? So for example, a lot of people who run for office will take not only money from individual donors, right? But they'll take money from huge corporations. They'll take money from lobbying groups. And I think what Trump was trying to say here is that I'm not going to take money from those type of corporations and lobbying groups. I have enough money to not have to do that, right? So that I can really be beholden only to the American people, is what he was trying to say. Similar to what Bernie said, actually, which is why I think it was interesting when, you know, people, it's like, seem to not comprehend that they're actually similar in that way, which is like they were trying to, I think, equally say, let's be beholden to the American people, not to these big corporations, right? And so when Trump said that, I don't think he was trying to, you know, brag. I think he was like, I have enough money that I'm one of the rare candidates that doesn't have to be beholden to the gun lobby or to the whatever lobby, right? Because I'm my own man, I'm my own person. And so it's like, I'm really tired of this hateful and mean-spirited, and I'll be honest with you, very evil sounding energy that is like, you know, reveling in trying to tear this man down, you know, lying on him, and just throwing anything out there. And we've just really devolved, I feel. That's why I keep making videos about, you know, let's, you know, lift ourselves up. Let us raise the discourse, right? So we can disagree, but we don't have to attack each other. We can disagree, but we don't have to tear each other down. We can disagree, but we don't have to, you know, rig elections and things like that. You know, ballot stuffing, you know, absentee ballots and all of this. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, that is not democracy. Anyone who is rigging, who is putting ballots, multiple ballots, is not a Democrat, period. If you are putting a ballot in one state, in-person ballot, and then putting an absentee ballot in a different state, you are not a Democrat. That is not democracy. If you are trying to prevent someone from being on the ballot who has a different opinion than you, or who you think will win against you, that is not democracy. Y'all understand that, right? If you are trying to prevent the truth from coming out about things and want to spread lies and prevent people from knowing the truth, that is not democracy. Those are elements of communism. And so what I'm saying is, you know, again, as someone who's never been a Trump supporter up until now, I've been a fan on some level, right? I used to watch him on TV and stuff. But like, y'all are really, and this is going to be a huge unintended consequence, in my opinion, that you all who are doing all these things and putting all these cases against him and charging him all this money are just increasing support for Trump. And as someone who believes in democracy, I believe in this country, I believe in the values that we stand for, that we were created on, you know, it is very disturbing for me. And it should be disturbing for everyone, the idea that your rights can be taken away simply because someone doesn't agree with you. That should be disturbing for everyone. And so, you know, tell me all what you all think about this. Do you think that it's fair that all of these things are happening to Trump? Do you like the fact that he's being charged with all of these things? Do you think it's funny? You know, or do you think that this is truly not the way we should be doing our elections? You know, really let me know how you feel about this. And, you know, as always, you know, I love you guys. All of this is out of love and truly love for our country, love for having been born here, and love for the future generations, and not wanting us to devolve into these truly toxic and negative ways of dealing with each other, and wanting us to raise the level of discourse so that we can just vote on the issues, vote on the candidates, as opposed to, you know, just trying to remove someone off the ballot because we don't like them. I just feel like that's truly not who we are as a people, and it's not who I want us to be. And so, again, let me know what you think about in the comments. I know you will. And as always, I love you guys so much. And I will see you on the next one. Wishing you all of you, abundant life, love, joy, peace, and prosperity. But not only to you, but to your loved ones and even to your enemies. Peace. If you want to support the channel, please consider buying one of my products, my famous Afro oil, which is Anoint, made with frankincense and myrrh, body oil, king's oil, mouthwash, as well as beautiful meditation beads. It's LIVE, liveology.org. So as always, I love you guys.